Okay, moving along, let's look at problem B. Again, we're going to find the sum of the first 5 terms. So, the first thing you need to know is what's the first term? Well, the first term, according to this sequence that's written out, is the number 12. Then remember, the formula has 1 minus, we need our R. That means what am I doing to get from one term to the next? Well, to get from 12 to -4, I'm multiplying by a negative and I'm cutting it by 3. You're dividing it by 3, which is the same thing as multiplying by a third. To get from the -4 to the 4/3, again, I'm multiplying it by a negative and cutting it by 3, so I'm multiplying it by a -1/3. So our R is -1/3. That's what I'll use. So my R here is -1/3 when I plug it in. Be careful, the formula has your R getting raised to the, we're adding it the first 5 terms, so it's getting raised to the 5th. So first of all, we have to do our exponents first that are inside of our parentheses. Well, -1/3 to the 5th power. Well, a negative times itself 5 times is still going to be negative. And the 1 raised to the 5th power is still 1. The 3 raised to the 5th power is a 243. Well, we did get a negative, and there was also a minus sign out in front of it. Well, a negative and a minus sign are going to turn into a plus or a positive. So we end up with a 1 plus 1 over 243. Well, in order to add those two, the 1 and the 1 over 243, you need a common denominator of 243. It's a very large odd number, but how do you rewrite the 1 here with a denominator of 243? Well, only one way to do that is to put a 243 on top, so that when you add those two, the 243 over 243 added to the 1 over 243 gives you 244 over 243. On the denominator, I had 1 minus my R, which was -1/3. Again, just like what happened on top, I've got minus a negative R, which is going to turn into plus or a positive R. So that's why I end up with a plus or a positive R here. So I've got 1 plus 1/3. Well, again, just like with the top, I need to get a common denominator of 3. So that 1 would turn into 3 over 3. So that when I add those two, the 3 over 3 and the 1/3, I get 4/3 on the bottom. So on top I have the 12 and the 244 over 243, and I'm dividing by 4/3. Well, remember, dividing by a fraction like 4/3 is the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal, which means flipping that 4/3 upside down and it becomes 3/4. Well, then you can multiply straight across, and remember the 12 is 12 over 1, so multiplying straight across the top and straight across the bottom, we get 8784 over 972. We just need to simplify that, and it does actually take quite a bit of simplifying, but we would get, reducing that fraction, 244 over 27. And that's our sum for adding up the first 5 elements of this geometric series.